Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Monday, June 19th. This is Gina McGuire. Over the next several days, we'll have many impacts to the Great Basin. First, we have been seeing very hot temperatures near record-breaking heat, which will continue today over the southern half of the Great Basin, but also we'll see a return of lightning start to expand over the western half of the area. We're already seeing some isolated lightning cells over the far western side of Nevada into the Sierra, and as we go through this afternoon and this evening, we will see this lightning activity increase and expand across the northern half of the state. We also may see some isolated thunderstorms over far southern Nevada, the Arizona Strip, and southwest Utah. These thunderstorms will be a mix of wet and dry, but will be moving from south to north and eventually north to northeast as we move through the day. As we move into Tuesday, this lightning activity will continue across Nevada and then expand eastward into the northern half of Utah. We also may see some lightning over the next 2 days into southwest Idaho. The lightning is the main concern as we move through the next couple of days, as we do have fuels that have been drying and very hot and dry temperatures and conditions the last few days. Therefore, we will continue to see increased fire potential in these areas where we will see lightning. As we move into Wednesday, we will continue with the near record temperatures over the southern areas of the Great Basin, with that lightning activity starting to shift a little bit further east and south, mainly extending from the central Sierra and central Nevada eastward across Utah. We also will have some breezy winds increase on Tuesday and into Wednesday over southern Idaho. Again, after the lightning we might see, also with fire activity up there, we could see increased fire potential with the winds as well. Looking at the last 24 hours, we've mainly seen light amounts of precipitation, mainly in the Sierra, and also obviously quite a bit of lightning activity. Some of this did occur yesterday. However, the lightning that extends into Nevada occurred early this morning. And again, we will see this continue over the next several hours. Looking at fire activity across the Great Basin, generally light fire activity with fires that emerged yesterday across western Nevada and also a large fire up into southern Idaho. Over the last 7 days, precipitation has been focused over the northern half of the Great Basin, with the precipitation across Idaho being above normal. However, over the last 30 days, if we average this out, we've seen generally near normal rainfall over parts of southwest Idaho, but well below normal precipitation over the rest of the southern 2/3 of the Great Basin, with really no precipitation over the last month over southern Nevada into southwest Utah. How this translates into the current fuel conditions: ERCs did decrease last week with the cool and wet system that moved through the north, however have been on the rise and are now above the 80th or even 90th percentile over southern areas of the Great Basin and are still below the 50th percentile further north. However, again, that really doesn't paint the whole picture. If we look at 10-hour fuel moisture, and again, the grasses have been mainly driving the fires early this season, we can see low 10-hour fuel moisture over much of Nevada into Utah, and then a little bit higher as you go further north into Idaho, just with the much colder temperatures and precipitation we saw last week. If we look at our fine fuel loading, you can see the areas shaded in brown are where we are seeing above normal fine fuel loading. And again, it's these areas where the fire spread has been largely determined by the grasses. Therefore, it's not only the continuity and the loading, but again, some of the grass in this area has been quite high. So the very hot and dry conditions we have seen and will continue to see will continue to dry out these fine fuels. The satellite loop from this morning shows the ridge of high pressure dominating the west. However, weak disturbance and moisture rotating around the ridge is what is generating these early morning thunderstorms over northern California into western Nevada. As we move through the day and this moisture starts to wrap around and move up to the north, we will again see this activity expand and increase. But currently, generally clear skies across the rest of Nevada into Utah. Now looking at the fire potential picture for today. Again, on the left, you can see the weather pattern, obviously the strong ridge in place, but moisture will start to expand and spread northeast as we move through the day. So the main lightning threat that we are concerned with is anywhere from the Arizona Strip into far southwest Utah and also over the northern half of Nevada. Otherwise, very hot temperatures will continue over the rest of Nevada, Utah, and the Strip. So today, our relative humidity will dip into the single digits to mid-teens over much of the southern half of the Great Basin, and any winds we see today will likely be associated with gusty outflow winds with thunderstorms, which is mainly what these stronger areas of winds are depicting over the northern half of Nevada. Otherwise, generally light to moderate winds. By Tuesday, we still have the strong ridge in place in the south. However, it does flatten a little bit as the system moves into Canada. Therefore, we will see that moisture stretch further eastward across the Great Basin, with again that lightning threat mainly affecting northern Nevada, up into northwest Utah, and we could potentially see lightning over the next 2 days also into southwest Idaho. However, we did not high risk that due to the fuels still somewhat moderated over the cool and wet conditions we saw last week. On Tuesday, relative humidity will remain about the same, generally single digits to teens in the south and above 20% further north. However, as that system moves into the northwest, we will see an increase in winds starting on Tuesday across Idaho and Wyoming, with gusts generally around 25 or 30 miles per hour. We will also see a slight wind shift to the west over northern Nevada with some breezy winds, but outside of any outflows with thunderstorms, most of the winds should stay below 25 miles per hour. By Wednesday, that system in the north tracks eastward with generally northwest flow across Idaho, and it also pushes that lightning mainly into eastern Nevada, central Nevada, and then further east into northern Utah, with still very hot temperatures continuing in the south. By Wednesday, we have much drier conditions in the far south with low single-digit relative humidity and also winds increasing over the northern half of the Great Basin. If we look at the overall forecast amount of precipitation, generally light precipitation is expected. However, we could see some heavier amounts underneath the stronger thunderstorms, but it won't be very widespread. As we move to later in the week, we have another area of low pressure dropping down into the northern Rockies. However, models have been having a really hard time handling the track of this low. Therefore, wind concerns are still somewhat low confidence as we move into Thursday. We could see breezy winds over northern Nevada and over into northern Utah. However, models have been trending a little bit further east, so that higher wind threat with gusts above 30 miles per hour may be confined to parts of Idaho, Wyoming, and Utah, but we're still continuing to monitor it and have still high-risk areas in Nevada just due to the lightning activity we will see over the next couple of days. And we certainly will see quite a bit more dryness as we move into Wednesday and Thursday over western and northern areas. By Friday, very dry conditions expand eastward across the Great Basin, with only a few showers or thunderstorms possibly remaining over parts of Idaho into Wyoming. We do not high risk anything for Friday, but we will continue to watch the winds and certainly any drying trend as we move through the weekend. By Saturday, generally dry conditions still, with low to moderate fire potential. As we move into Sunday, the high pressure ridge starts to build again from the south. We will see warming conditions over the weekend and also another surge of moisture as we move into Sunday and especially into early next week, again moving from west to east as that moisture rotates around that area of high pressure. Therefore, we will see thunderstorms return again by Sunday and Monday. The 7-day overall forecast amount of precipitation still shows generally light amounts, and anything really will be associated with thunderstorm activity. If we look a little bit later into the very end of June, early July, we see better chances of drier conditions over the northern and eastern side of the Great Basin with near or slightly above normal temperatures. That concludes our briefing for today. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Thank you for listening.